What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. I want to talk to you guys about the game that just ended. My voice is a little hoarse, my heart is still pounding, heart attacks galore in this game, but Pittsburgh played their newly intense division rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals. Ever since Dalton got to town, it's kind of been a rivalry, very physical. We know about the injuries last year with Shazier, who came walking back on the field today in street clothes. He walked back on the field that he got injured on last year, which was good to see. But the Steelers played the Bengals in a big divisional matchup, coming into this game 2-2-1, and the Bengals were 4-1. So Cincinnati's been on quite a roll after two consecutive fourth quarter comebacks. Pittsburgh at just 2-2-1. This game was a really, really big game. I don't like to use the term must-win game this early in the season in Week 6. For a team that's 2-2-1, but Pittsburgh's had a lot of drama this year. There's been problems with, we had the tie in Week 1. The defense has looked so bad throughout the season. The play calling has been questioned. Special teams has been questioned. We had obviously the stuff with Le'Veon Bell, the stuff with Ben and Antonio. And if I have to hear the commentators talk about Wi-Fi connections anymore with Ben and Antonio, I've heard that phrase like 17 times in the past 2 weeks, and I am sick of hearing that. But with that being said, this was a pretty even game for almost all the game. Pittsburgh held the time of possession a lot longer than Cincinnati, had a lot more sustained drives, a lot more first downs early on, but they couldn't really get in the end zone. The drive stalled out, went to a couple of field goals. Pittsburgh started to get a little bit of separation. They got a touchdown toward the end of the first half. And let me just say, the defense, all in all, did not play horribly today. I guess 21 points isn't that bad, I guess. But twice, at the end of the first half and at the end of the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh's defense gave up touchdowns. When they were counted on the most to close out the half and just hold the Bengals, they couldn't even hold the field goals. They gave up touchdowns. The Bengals drove down the field with like 1minute and 9 seconds left in the first half. And they were just looking to get in field goal range, and Dalton threw a touchdown pass to Tyler Boyd. Defense giving up a touchdown to tie the game at 14 going into halftime. And then Pittsburgh being ahead slightly by, I believe it was 2 points. Pittsburgh was ahead 2 points. Bengals coming down the field again, getting a touchdown with about, I think, 3:30 left in the game. So twice when Pittsburgh just needed little simple closeouts or containments, the defense gave up the entire bunch. So the defense, again, has a lot to answer for. But the final score of this game, Pittsburgh 28, Cincinnati 21. Pittsburgh gets the big statement win. Cincinnati coming in looking like gangbusters at 4-1. A lot of their close games they've been closing out, getting comeback wins. They've looked very, very good all season. With the emergence of Tyler Boyd, alongside superstar receiver A.J. Green, young Joe Mixon making a statement for himself as one of the better up-and-coming running backs in the league. Bengals are banged up. They're injured on offense and defense, and they had a bunch more injuries today. But coming in at 4-1, they were the leaders of this division, big time. And Pittsburgh coming in to Cincinnati on the road with a fourth quarter comeback, last second comeback in this game to get a divisional win on the road in Cincinnati is really big. That is 7 straight victories over the Bengals now for us. We've won 7 straight, and I think it is also, 9 of 10 or 10 of 12 or something like that. We've been on fire against the Bengals. They haven't been able to beat us for a couple of years now. Again, the offense looked pretty solid. They were a little skittish in the first half, 14 points. Not bad, but not great, sort of in the middle. Vance McDonald was the only guy to play for us in the first half. He was running guys over. This is the 3rd game of the season where he's been breaking tackles and trucking guys, lowering his shoulders on Williams and Burfict and just running those guys over. He was the entire offense for the first half. Connor played pretty solid as well with 2 short touchdowns. Second half, we really opened up and unleashed. Juju had a big second half. Brown had a huge second half. Connor had another amazing game. He is only the 5th or 6th player this season to have 3 games with over 100 yards and multiple touchdowns on the ground. So Connor is really hitting his stride nicely. Big credit to the offensive line in this game. Big Ben had 46 pass attempts and was not sacked. I don't even think he was knocked down. I don't think there was any real pressure on Ben this entire game. They blocked for Ben greatly. No pressure, no sacks for Ben. No turnovers at all in this game, so the offensive line, major credit to them. Obviously blocking well for Connor also. I'll get to the numbers in a second. But big blocks for Connor, who ran very well today, especially in the second half. And special shout out to Marquise Pouncey. He's going to get a big game ball shout out for this game. Not only was he at the center of the good blocking all day long, but had 2 blocks downfield that sprung long Connor runs. Really big kickout blocks that sprung Connor for big plays downfield. So Pouncey had a huge game today. DeCastro played well also. Getting to a couple of stats here real quick for you guys. Again, pretty solid offense, 28 points on the day. Big Ben, 32 of 46, 369 yards and 1 touchdown, which was the game-winning touchdown. I guess this is pretty solid stat line, but it seemed like a mediocre day. A couple throws were high in the first half, but wound up with 369 and a touchdown, so you can't complain too much about that with no sacks and no turnovers. So good decisions downfield and hit some tight windows, especially in the fourth quarter, trying to extend drives. Good third down conversions today for the Steelers. James Conner, second consecutive week with over 100 yards rushing, 19 carries, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Also added 4 catches for 18 yards, so bailouts out of the backfield, solid. Conner, again, breaking tackles. He's one of the harder guys to bring down. Over the last 2 weeks, I'm seeing him find patience, cut back into the second hole. He has an original design, going to the outside. He cuts back into the inside and springs it. I saw him do that on 2 20-plus yard runs today. Very good footwork and good patience, kind of reminiscent of our boy Le'Veon Bell, but I won't get too far into him. But again, also breaking tackles after first contact and throwing shoulders down. There's just something, and the announcer said this, there's something about the way McDonald and Conner run through tackles that just fires you up. They run guys over and they get you excited, and that gets the whole offense moving and gets guys blocking better. Very good stuff. Speaking of Vance, big first half today, kind of quiet in the second half. But 7 catches for 68 yards, another good day for him. He is a big addition to have back. Since he's come back, this offense has looked a lot better with him. So, good game balls for both Connor and Vance. Antonio Brown, the Wi-Fi, I guess, was on this week. Second consecutive game over 100 yards. 5 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. And the touchdown was the long game winner for 30-plus yards. I guess talking about that real quick. The Bengals drove down. There was about 3.5 minutes left in the game. The Bengals drove down the field. I think Pittsburgh was up by 2 points, 1 point or 2 points. And either way, the Bengals drove the entire field. Drove the entire way down the field, beating up our pass defense again. Uzama and Tyler Boyd, who had a big game, 7 catches. A.J. Green, who was shut down in the first half, had a very good second half with 80-something yards. Had a big second half, big catches. They wind up getting in the end zone with Mixon, and they leave us only about a minute and 18 seconds to come down and try to get in field goal range for a game-winning field goal. As soon as Ben came down and scored we got the field goal before that, I'm already thinking about, okay, we're only up by we're up by 6 points. I'm sorry. We're up by 6 points, and I'm already thinking about how the defense is going to let us down because they did in the first half, and I was already thinking the Bengals were going to drive down and get a touchdown and game-winning extra point, and I'm thinking I hope we have enough time for Big Ben. I saw the Bengals did drive down just like I pessimistically thought. I don't want to be called a fair weather fan or be called negative, but I had a feeling the Bengals were going to drive the entire field and score, and that's what they did. But they left us, thankfully, 2 timeouts and a minute 18 for Big Ben. And Ben drives down, getting big conversions. Juju Smith-Schuster with a big second half. 2 big clutch catches. Jesse James had a nice catch. Antonio Brown with a nice catch. And then Ben throws on the outside to Brown, just trying to get Boswell closer in field goal range. And Brown winds up going across the middle, breaking a tackle and going the entire way for a 30-plus yard game-winning touchdown to seal it for us. So thank goodness for Big Ben with his 44th all-time game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime. This is his 8th time he's done this against Cincinnati, so he's got their number. Juju Smith-Schuster, 4th game of the season, over 100 yards. Again, big second half and 2 big third down conversions in the fourth quarter for us. 7 catches, 111 yards. So Brown, Juju, and Vance, and Connor, along with Ben, those 5 all clicked today, especially in the second half. Again, special shout-out again to the offensive line. Played very well today. Ben was not sacked. No turnovers, no bad plays. Pouncey especially. Looking on defense, there were a couple things that were solid for us. Just a note, once again, Our safety that we signed from Green Bay in the offseason still did not play today. Terrell Edmonds filled in for him again today. That is his fourth consecutive missed game, I believe, for Morgan Burnett. So that signing is not looking great for us right now. Hopefully when he gets healthy, he can turn it around. Vince Williams, though, was back and was one of the leaders on defense today. 6 tackles and a sack. He played okay in coverage. He got beat a lot, especially when they had him on A.J. Green for some reason. They had him covering Green. He was getting beat. Uzama got him a couple times too. But 6 tackles and a sack here. We had 3 sacks on the day. Javon Hargrave had one, his second consecutive game with a big play and a couple tackles for a loss. And Stephon Tuitt had a sack as well. So Hargrave, Tuitt, and Vince Williams all with sacks. This was Tuitt's best game of the year. He had, I think, 4 tackles, and 2 of those were for a loss, including a sack here. A couple of solid plays from Hilton. Mike Hilton in the middle, playing in the slot for us. He didn't play too badly. And Cam Sutton played a lot today in relief, our normally fourth cornerback. A couple of plays, he had 2 pass deflections, played nicely on a couple of plays, and then he got beat on what seemed like pretty good coverage, but just some tough catches from Uzama, from A.J. Green, and from Tyler Boyd, who played well against us today. So solid coverage, even getting beat a few times, but played pretty well today. Man, I got to say, we got Artie Burns got beat a lot today. He got beat for a touchdown by Tyler Boyd in the first half. He was the one that gave that up. He got called for a holding on a big play in the fourth quarter. He's been getting beat up like crazy, and I'm just not a fan of the way he's playing right now. Also a negative, Cameron Canaday, the long snapper. 2 penalties on special teams today. 2 penalties on punts. That's not okay. Field position was against us today. Their returner, I did not write his name down. I apologize to the Bengals returner. I think it would be Anderson. Had 2 big long returns that set the Bengals up for scores against us. Played very well today. And again, our punter as well, just very inconsistent. One punt goes 63 yards and pins them deep and changes field position, and the next punt goes 20 yards and bounces forward at the 50. So, very inconsistent punting game. Special teams today was not their finest moments. They did not play very well. That's 2 games in a row now. They've got to work on some big changes. Penalties again, also, once again, no surprise, most penalized team in the league. But all in all, driving down there, getting the game-winning touchdown to Antonio Brown, Ben driving the entire field from the 25 to the end zone with 1:18 left. Big plays from Brown for the game-winning touchdown, game-winning 2-point conversion for Juju. Final score 28-21, and no matter how many issues we had with punting, special teams, penalties, coverage, we've got a lot of issues to still work out. We are nowhere near where we should be. But this was a big statement division road win, comeback division win for the Steelers over the Bengals. They are now 4-2. We are now coming out with 2 straight victories, 2 straight statement victories at 3-2-1. So we're only a half game back. And as of this recording, the Browns lost as well, so they're behind us as well now. So we'll see what the Ravens do today. But now, again, the Bengals are 4-2. We are 3-2-1. We're just a half game back, and we play the Bengals again later this season in our home stadium. So what a difference 2 weeks make. The league was ready to write us off as being a disappointment this year 2 weeks ago, and now we have 2 consecutive victories, including a divisional road win. So things are looking up. Antonio Brown looks happier. Connor's on a complete roll right now. Juju's looking great. Vance is looking great. Some of the linebackers in there playing pretty well. The blitz packages have gotten a lot better. Hilton's getting back in the backfield. We're getting a lot of pressure. We're getting 3 or 4 sacks a game now, which is making a bit of a difference. So we've still got our penalty and our coverage issues on defense, and we have to work on our tackling. But at least with the pressure and the sacks, our defense is competitive, and the offense is going to always put up points. Thank you, Ben and Brown, for the game winner. Pittsburgh now wins 28-21 and goes to 3-2-1. So the Steelers have got a winning record finally. And what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below who you want to shout out in this game winner. What do you guys think of this game? Pittsburgh is going into a bye now with 2 straight wins. Bye week next week. So I might come back with a random video or something, but I might just see you guys in 2 weeks. I will see you guys then. Take care.